Howdy folks, hope you're all having a good one, and welcome back to World of Warships with Rear Admiral Jingles, and welcome back also to Below Average Potato, for it is none other than he, in this Tier 9 domination battle, here on the Sleeping Giant map. He's teamed up in a division with two of his clanmates, SFNL in the American USS Buffalo, and Prometheus in the presumably Dutch, I have to admit, I haven't actually seen that ship before, the Van Speyk. I'm probably mispronouncing it as well, but I'll give it the old try. Below Average Potato himself is in the extremely capable and extremely heavy German Tier 9 cruiser, the Admiral Schroeder. The Schroeder it's a kind of love it or hate it ship. I mean, on paper it should perform the same as the Aegir, or Aegir, again, another ship whose name I'm not really sure on how to pronounce. Another German heavy cruiser with 305mm guns. Yes, this is a very heavy cruiser. No 8-inch guns on this thing. They only look the same on paper though, because these same guns on the Aegir, well, it has one more, it's got 9 rather than 8. They have better shell velocity, better armor piercing penetration. They're just better guns. Oh, and here comes the Van Speyk, Dutch Tier 9 heavy cruiser. What is it with this German-Dutch rivalry, by the way? Anybody from either of those countries care to enlighten me? Because here in Britain, we always think that, you know, Germany, big rivals. We're always harping on about the 1966 World Cup final. And I think that the English football squad have been beaten on penalties in semi-finals by Germany more than any other nation. So here in Britain, we think that we've got this big rivalry with Germany. But the Germans don't give a shit. Right? We're all chanting 2 World Wars and 1 World Cup, and the Germans are like, we didn't realise it meant that much to you. We really don't care. We're too busy drawing up plans to crush the Dutch in the next football tournament. So what really is going on with that? And Germany, would you please take us seriously? We're quite passionate about this, thank you. And the Germans just don't care. So yeah, anyway, moving on swiftly. The Schroeder. Yeah, the guns aren't bad, but they're just not really as good as what are technically the same guns on the Aegir. But despite the worse armor-piercing penetration and the more floaty, if you like, nature of the shells, they're still capable of handing out a spanking to a broadside cruiser caught unawares. Like that unfortunate Tulsa over there. So, yeah, I mean, the guns are not bad. It's just that if you're coming to the Schroeder from playing the Aegir and you're thinking, oh, same guns, well, yeah, but also no. What the Schroeder does have, however, is more secondaries than any other cruiser anywhere. And they're German secondaries, so they get quarter caliber penetration. And huge range. I think the base range on these things is 8 kilometers. So, yeah, the secondaries on this thing, they're kind of spicy. Good range, good rate of fire, good penetration. The accuracy is a bit questionable, though. You certainly aren't going to be relying on the secondaries to do damage at maximum range. But close in, yeah, they're not bad. This, by the way, getting on to the main point of why you're watching today's video, is one of the fastest wins I have ever seen in World of Warships. As you probably already noted by the length of the video. It's not the fastest win I've ever seen in World of Warships. I once saw a battle that was over with 0 casualties in less than 4 minutes, as both teams just kind of sailed around opposite sides of the map, completely avoiding each other and headed straight for each other's cap circles. It was quite comical to watch, actually, because the one team were basically just sailing north anti-clockwise around the eastern end of the map, while the other team were very obviously sailing south clockwise around the western side of the map. And it's just a question of who reached the enemy cap circle first. Not a particularly interesting battle to watch, but it was kind of amusing, and at least it was short. Oh, and speaking of short, what do you think the life expectancy of that cow is going to be? Oh, that was surprising. I think he got off lightly. I mean, That's one of the good things, by the way, about these 305mm guns. They might have lower penetration, they might be more sort of floaty and have worse ballistics, but that just means they're less likely to over-penetrate and score citadels instead when you're aiming at less heavily armoured targets. Below Average Potato taking a quick glance to the starboard side there. Oof. There goes the Tulsa. Concerned about further torpedoes from the Erland who was spotted, which I believe his secondaries were firing at. Now they just need to finish off the Takao, who was, in fact, yes, there is torpedoes, and wow, close quarters expert award. Close quarters. How far away was he? Schroeder secondaries. Okay. Yeah. One torpedo. Could have been better, could have been worse. Well, that's the threat to this flank taken care of, and have a look at the minimap, look at the positions of the teams. I did say this was going to be a very short battle. The enemy team are now basically more or less surrounded. A couple of shots out at the King George V. I mean, he's motoring, he's got the engine boost running, but he doesn't really need to worry because the King George V is instead focusing on the Nelson over there, and appears to be winning. Yeah, the Nelson's taking a spanking. You can just see its health bar at the extreme right side of the screen, and the Nelson is in fact down. But then Prometheus in the Van Speyk nails the Erland. The enemy team are now operating without any destroyers. Actually, they're operating with a lot less than that. They've lost 5 ships. The battle's barely 5 minutes old, and look at the positions. I mean, yeah, this is a turkey shoot. Now this is what we call a target-rich environment, and the question is, who are you going to shoot first? And then the Helena starts turning, giving a nice big flat broadside. Shots out. Turns out everybody was waiting for the Helena to finish turning. With SFNL taking the kill there in the Buffalo. With this number of targets, it becomes a question of which one can you do the most damage to the fastest. So who's giving you the biggest broadside? Oh, torpedoes there from the Surrey. Yeah, maybe the Surrey. That rear turret on the Schroeder, by the way, rotates 360 degrees, so it's very quick to swap targets from one side to the other. He's just lost the turret there, possibly from the King George. But look at the secondary hits getting racked up and the fires that they're starting. And at this kind of range, the subpar armor-piercing performance isn't really an issue. It's kind of here where things really just stop making any kind of sense, because he's charging right into the... He's just in a cruiser, by the way. Oh, and there's another close quarters expert award finishing off the Surrey, which has triggered his special commander skill, so the secondaries are now firing even faster. There's the double strike. You'd think in a cruiser of any description, charging in at the middle of a bunch of battleships like this would be absolutely suicide. But the thing is, I mean, there's only 2 of them left. And they don't know which way to turn and who to shoot at. There's the Kraken Unleashed, there's the victory, game over. Wait, what? There's still an enemy ship alive? Yeah, but look at the scores. The enemy team got 0 pointed. And check out the awards. Look at this. This is just ridiculous. Coordinated attack, 7 kills between the 3 of them. They got more than that, they actually got 8. Shoulder to shoulder, this is the team version of Confederate. Damaged at least 10 of the 12 enemy ships. Kraken Unleashed for 5 kills. 2 close quarters expert awards. The double strike, of course. Then a Confederate of his own. Then a further team award, Strike Team, for doing at least 50% of the entire enemy team's hit points in damage. And finally, General Offensive, for the division destroying 3 ships of different types. That was 2,000 base experience for Below Average Potato, with nearly 5,000 experience earned amongst the division as a whole. Special mention I feel must be given to the enemy Miyoko, who enjoyed 3 distinctions during the course of this battle. First, he was the only enemy ship to survive, and he did it with 42 experience earned. You said he had 3 distinctions, Jingles, that's just 2. Yes, he was also never spotted at all, which I suspect means he was probably AFK during the entire course of that battle. But still, I felt it was worth pointing out, because it's funny. But yes, I mean, it's you see teams getting slaughtered all the time. You see teams throwing away victories all the time. Hell, I have a dedicated video series about it, but it is very rare to see a team perform so badly that they actually get reduced to 0 points. I mean, I think in the 7 years this game has been out, I've only actually participated in a battle where that happened. Thankfully, I was on the winning side once. And I've only seen it happen in the replays that you lot have sent in maybe 2 or 3 times. And now it's maybe 3 or 4 times. So thank you, Below Average Potato. And of course, SFNL and Prometheus for sharing this one with us today. And I hope you all enjoyed it. Yep, it was kind of short, but well, that's also kind of the point. And that's it for today. As always, take care, and I'll catch you next time.